What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast, a weekly video game show where, like I said, we talk about games, the ones we love, the ones we hate, and everything in between. New episodes come out on Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. Central Time, and you can listen to those on podcast services around the World Wide Web, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and others. You can also watch a video version of each episode over on our YouTube channel. But before I get too much into the spiel, I guess I can let you all know who we are. I am Jerrett Wilson, one of your hosts, and joined across the power of the internet by my co-host, Rachel Mogan.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno to you as well. How are you this fine day?
I'm cold. My toesies are cold. And
We're supposed to get like a big cold front coming in.
No,
Did you know this?
All I know is that Bro Mogan told me it was 5 degrees where he was the other day. And in comparison, it was 76 here during the day. So I probably shouldn't complain, but my toesies are cold, so I am going to complain about it.
We've had some really nice weather days, but I think these last couple of days, but I think it is going to come back and bite us in the ass next week. I think it's supposed to get like into the 20s a couple times, stuff like that. I think at night. So be sure you got extra bundled up and some little socks to cover up them toes and keep them warm.
Oh gosh, that just sounds awful.
You don't like sleeping in socks? I love sleeping in socks.
No, I hate it. I'm not an anarchist. You're crazy.
Oh, man. Well, you can also find the show on all of our social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can join our Discord server there where you can have a lot of fun conversations with us when we're not recording the show on things, a lot of things outside of video games. So check that out. Links for all that are in the description below. If you'd like to support the show and make it bigger and better, you can head over to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support the show. Just like Susan M, James K, Ben W, Michael B, Fuchsia Rascal, Andrew M, Michael S, and Brandon W have all done. And when you support the show on Patreon, you get a whole lot of cool perks like getting the episodes early before their general Tuesday release, access to a private channel on our Discord server, the Rogues Gallery, and for patrons of our $5 tier, you get 2 weeks early access to a special side show, a subsidiary show, you could call it, of Team Chat Podcast called Team Chit Chat, where Mogan and I talk about a whole lot of other stuff. We chit chat, you could say, about all the different things that are that we enjoy, like, don't like, that are outside the world of video games. So if you want to get a little bit more, get to know us a little bit better and the things that we like and enjoy out in the real world, well, check out Team Chit Chat and all that stuff. So, but if you can't do that, that's no big deal. We totally understand it all, but we would we would love your support in other ways, such as liking the show, subscribing it, it's liking the show on social media, following us there, writing us reviews on podcast services, wherever you interact with the show, subscribing, telling your friends, all those great things help make the show bigger and better as well. And we are very grateful and love each and every one of our patrons and listeners alike. Get that heart emoji.
Big heart.
Bum, bum. Big old heart. But before we get into the main topic of the day, let's get a little bit of news and what's coming out soon in our Moment with Mogan.
Okay, so February is not exactly jam-packed with games, but it has some big ones that are out now and coming soon. So just in case you missed it, because these games are both near and dear to my heart, so I'm going to keep talking about them, Control Ultimate Edition and Concrete Genie are both currently the free PS Plus games. So if you have a PS4 and or a PS5, Control is also available now for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. I'm not sure if it's free if you're a PS5 user. How does that work? Like,
yeah,
are you
it's just the same. It just plays on either one, so you can download it. I actually already did download all 3 of the free PS Plus games this month because they were all ones that I was pretty excited about.
It was just a crazy roster. So if you do have a PS5, the I guess banner game is Destruction AllStars, but followed by Control Ultimate Edition, which includes both of the DLCs for Control, AWE and the Foundation. And Concrete Genie is just a wonderful game that everybody should play. I love Concrete Genie. So those are already out now. And then
quick little side note on the PS Plus games. If you even, I know they did this with Bugsnax and one other, and I think it's they make it the case with the PS5 games. Even if you don't have a PS5 but are a PS Plus member, you can still add the game to your library. So whenever you do get a PS5, you can still have that sweet game. So if any of the games that come up on the PS5 offering for the PS Plus subscription, still go ahead and try to download it or redeem it if you can, if you have a PS4.
Excellent advice. So Coming soon on February 11th, we have Little Nightmares 2. I'm actually pretty excited about this game. The first Little Nightmares came out what feels like forever ago, so I was a little surprised to see Little Nightmares 2. And that's going to be for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. On the 12th, this is a port, so Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is coming out for the Switch. So anybody that missed Super Mario 3D World because it was for the Wii U, I played it on Wii U. What a great game. The game is awesome. It actually is one of my favorite Mario games, especially of the modern ones. It's maybe not, as good, air quotes, as Super Mario Odyssey, like objectively speaking, but I perhaps had as much or maybe even more fun playing Super Mario 3D World. So if you haven't already gotten to play it, it's coming out for Switch. I might buy it again for Switch just because it's a really fun game. So that's coming out soon, and you should all be excited about it.
Well, and the Bowser's Fury's that's new though, right? So that is like kind of the draw for the Switch version as well. Nice.
I doubt it's going to be a lot of new stuff, but there's something new in there for other people. And that's the game where you get to be kitty cats. You get to have little kitty cat suits. Who doesn't want that in a Mario game? And the last thing coming out soon is King of Seas on February 18th for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. There's some more stuff coming out towards the end of this month, just in case anybody misses it. Bravely Default 2 is coming out at the end of this month on February 26th, but we will talk about it on the next episode as well.
Very cool, very cool. Well, before we, the main topic of the day really is that I will be bringing my first impressions / review, I guess, of Destruction AllStars, the new game that just dropped on the PS5. But before we do that, we just wanted to do a quick little update of what we've been playing lately. It feels like there's been a lot of stuff either coming out, and I feel like I, for one, have been juggling a lot of different games, either between like Mogan and I's both streaming schedules that we do, just playing on our own, and of course trying to play some new hot things so we can keep you all updated here on the show. So Mogan, what have you been playing lately?
I feel like I've been all over the place. So I don't want to talk about it too much because I think we're probably going to address this more in the future. But I have been playing a bejesus ton again of Stardew Valley.
Nice.
It got me again. We've talked about this before. Stardew Valley is one of the best games that you can play when you're stressed because just something about it is so magical. Hits all the little serotonins. Just like, I feel instantly relaxed and soothed. So I've been playing a ton of Stardew Valley on my newer file. So I, of course, had my old file where I think I got to year 4. I definitely made it really heckin' far. I even got married. I married Elliot in my first file. But now on my different file, I'm trying to do things a little differently. I have a different layout for my farm. My character is different, of course. I'm trying to go for different resources than I did the first time. And I'm still not sure who I'm going to marry this time around. So we'll talk about that at another time. But that means that it has been cutting into all of my other game time for things like Animal Crossing, which unfortunately I just haven't really played much lately. And actually, I think I either by now have missed or am currently missing the Festival event, which is like Animal Crossing's version of Mardi Gras, basically. Where like an awesome peacock comes to your island and he dances like the samba and he's incredible. But I just haven't been able to tear myself away from either Stardew or the other games I've been playing. Because as you know, we have both been, to a certain extent, playing Skyrim lately. So I've been trying to do that. And then my other game that I'm playing a lot of on stream right now is the Spyros. So I got the Spyro...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I got the Spyro Reignited Trilogy for Christmas, and it's the best game ever. I do want to do a full review of it soon because I'm almost done with it. I think I'm almost done with the second game. I 120%ed the first game.
Very good, very good.
The third game I may or may not play on stream because I know what it is. Like, I've played it before to an extent. And I remember it having some elements about it that I did not enjoy. But Spyro as a whole, the Reignited Trilogy, what an incredible game. Top tier. So glad that they remade it so truly to the original. Like, it wasn't like Ratchet and Clank where they did a whole reimagining of it. It was just, they just copied the Spyro. they made it look a little nicer, I guess, in Microsoft Paint. I don't know what developers use. And then they put it out on the modern consoles. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what the people want. Thank you. This is a perfect game. So that's what I've been doing.
It looks damn pretty. It looks really good pretty. Really good pretty?
Really
it looks
good
really pretty. It's real good pretty.
It's real good pretty.
But no, yeah, I've enjoyed watching it because that's a series that I've missed out on. So it's been fun watching through your streams and everything. And it looks like one that I could see myself playing at some point. I think I do have the Crash Bandicoot remasters.
Oh, the Insane
trilogy. Yeah. So I might try to jump over to that and maybe play that. I think that would be a fun one to stream. That would be a lot of fun, I think.
Those kinds of games are so great for stream because it's so easy. You know, in other games, stuff's always happening and the environment is constantly responding to you and you're like, please stop. And the beauty about Spyro and Crash is that you can just stop. You can just stand still for a long ass time and nothing will happen. Because if you killed everything in that area already, they're not going to respawn. There aren't going to be any new waves of enemies dropping down from the sky like
some crazy beast attacking you from the bushes or something.
Always happens in modern games. So yeah, they're just really chill. It's a fun time. They're not difficult per se, or at least Spyro isn't. Crash is. Crash
That's what I've heard, which scares me
later on. Yeah, so you should be more afraid of Crash than I am of Spyro. But Spyro is so easy. The soundtrack is wonderful. All of the environments are beautiful. It's one of the most visually pleasing games I've played in a long ass time, especially compared to Skyrim. It's just think of it like a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful palate cleanser to just be like, get that taste out of my mouth. Yeah.
So not a fan of the old Skyrim, I say. I take that. I know we are going to circle back around. So Mogan and I have it, for those unaware, we both have been playing through Skyrim because it was one of our goals during Extra Life last year that if we hit a certain amount, we would play Skyrim, and then if we hit a certain amount again, we would also jump into the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which was announced this last week is coming out May 14th, I believe.
Yeah.
So we got to get ready for that. So I've been playing some Skyrim 2 off and on periodically. I want to say I'm
minimum.
I know I told you the city I was in. I think I'm at level 18 maybe.
Yeah, you're actually not that far behind me. I think I've technically made it further than you, but not by much. I feel
like story-wise, I'm actually farther ahead, in the actual story.
What was the last thing you did in the story?
I told you on that one stream, and now I can't think of what it is.
Because I've gotten to a point where I met a lady who's helping me figure out why the dragons are being resurrected.
And she brought you down to a table in her inn. Okay, I
just
did that.
Oh, okay. So
okay. So we're
quest.
Okay. Wait, just with her or
just with her. So her quest that she gives you in the basement the first time, I finished that one and then I came back and reported back to her and now I'm on the next thing.
Got it. Okay, so I'm on that mission then. Okay. I haven't completed her first mission. So we're you're we're just about there. So I've been playing a lot of Skyrim, trying to get that done so we can do a wrap-up review on and kind of our thoughts on the game. And let's see, what else have I been playing? A lot of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Oh my god, I've been playing that game a ton. And
how many hours in are you now?
40.
Whoa, that actually is a lot, especially for you.
For me, playing through it quickly, I'm playing it a lot, and oh my god, is it so much fun. That game, when I finally do my wrap up on that one, talking about it, it's probably going to be just nothing but praise, so I might not even really need to do one, just be it's amazing, go play it, because I've been having the time of my life in that game. It is so fun. So that's been playing a lot of that. Let's see, streaming wise, I'm playing Breath of the Wild on stream.
Ooh, yeah.
Jumping back into that.
I have been watching, of course, I'm one of the mods. I'm hanging out in stream. It has been both frustrating and fun to watch.
I'm sure you're watching me play and just be like, my god, why is he so stupid and why doesn't he do it this way?
Part of me is oh, what do you mean you're out of arrows? You just go pick them back up. Wait, I wanted to make sure that you got this note.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure if you had missed it in chat. Are you aware that your weapons have different qualities? Even if you have two of the same weapon, one could be better?
I know they have quality to them. That like just picking up like say a guardian spear. If I pick up 2 guardian spears, I know one could be potentially higher quality than the other.
But there's
And
a
I know-
very easy way that you can tell. So
Okay.
when you're in the menu or even just switching between items, like the little square that the item's icon lives
Mhm.
in the lower corner is a number. That number indicates how high quality it is. So
Okay.
if you've got 2 spears and one's a 14 and one's a 24, the 24 is better. And you should just leave the 14.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I've always assumed that was their attack value, but if that's their quality.
But no, it's kind of both. I'm just saying
Okay,
quality is
okay.
like an all-encompassing term.
Yeah.
This one is better.
Got it. Okay. No, that's how I've been kind of like seeing that and messing around with them.
Because the other day, you dropped an item that was way better, and then you took a worse item, and then you left the good one behind. And we were
I just like to play
"What?
dangerously.
What is happening? Why did he do that?
I just like to live dangerously out there in Hyrule.
That you knew what those numbers meant.
I probably just there's a lot going on. You know, I just probably it was an accident. Made a little mistake. I'm
I
sure.
also think at the time you were in one of the temples, so like you had other stuff to focus on.
Oh yeah. But I've been trying to play Breath of the Wild again because you know, if you've listened to the show for a while, you know this is my 3rd time like picking it back up and being like maybe I'll finish it this time. I didn't restart a new game. I had done that once already on one of my restarts. On the second time I restarted, I was like, you know what? It's been so long since I played. Let me just do this again. Have a better run at the beginning. Maybe set myself up for success a little bit better. I fell off again for like a year. So now here I am. I'm back again. But so now though, I've defeated 2 of the Divine Beasts. On my last one, I just beat the Divine Beast Meadow.
Vaw Meadow. Very nice.
Which was a really fun one. And it's a lot more fun playing it on stream, I say, because it's a lot easier for me it's fun to have everybody like telling me like, no, go pick that up. No, you need to get this one. Or, you know, backseat gaming to an extent, you know, I'm asking for the helps and the hints and all that stuff, but getting the advice from you and other people who have played the game way more than I have is making it a lot more fun for me, I will say. But, you know, we've talked a lot about this streaming. Well, where can you watch these streams? Well, Mogan's, you can watch her over on at My Name Is Not Morgan on twitch.tv. It's twitch.tv/@MyNameIsNotMorgan. And I stream on the Team Chat channel, so twitch.tv/Team Chat Podcast. So we really need to figure out a way, though. Although I know you're getting your own followers and stuff like that. You know, getting those subscribers and all that stuff. Just killing it out there in the streaming world. So check those out.
Still haven't caught up to the Team Chat channel, though. I'm still catching up.
Yeah, but you're getting there though. You already have like what, 60 something followers?
60 some odd, but
Yeah,
I need 60,000 to be able to quit my job.
Yeah, that's true. I know.
I sometimes think about people that are full-time streamers for a living, and I genuinely don't know how or why they do it. Like just the simple act of sitting still and being engaged in something actively for that long blows my mind. I don't understand how their lower backs aren't completely destroyed, how they don't have carpal tunnel, like just out the wazoo. I just don't understand. It's wild to me.
I feel like I could handle the like sitting there and like playing all day. It's like the part where I feel like I would struggle if I was doing it full time would be just like, I don't know, maybe like the additional content outside of it, you know, like, you know, some people or like finding the fun goals. Like you and I have talked about that, like even making like Twitch channel points. Like what do we want our channel points to be redeemable for?
What do we put
what
these reward points as?
Yeah.
It's so good. It's like what do the people want?
Yep.
You know, it's so hard to tell.
I like yours. Yours are fun. Like compliment, you can pay a certain amount, get a compliment, pay a certain else, get an insult. I redeemed one for an insult, and all she did was call my dog fat.
Well,
and so
you asked for it, buddy.
Which I was like, oh, you got me. I guess that's true. Can't dispute that.
She is pretty chunky.
And then so like, yeah, and then I have a pup cam on mine, so I just bring the pups in and lift them up and make them look like they're playing the game. So.
I mean, pup cam is arguably the best possible reward. Like
getting to see cute kitties and puppies.
Can I borrow one of your dogs?
Sure, for just a day or so.
Yeah, just a day.
I'll miss him too much.
Want Fender.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll see if he wants to go visit Aunt Mogan.
Yes. excellent. I don't have much yard for him. I'll have to figure that out.
That's fine. That's fine. He'll overcome. He's good with just laying around and being lazy all day
He's
too. He loves a good
great.
old snooze day. Well, I guess let's go ahead and jump on then into our main topic, which, like I said, I'm going to be giving my first impressions / review of Destruction AllStars. So Destruction AllStars came out on February 2nd, 2021 and was developed by Lucid Games and published by PlayStation. It is a PlayStation exclusive game, which was pretty cool though when it started to see the new like logo video for PlayStation Studios, because they kind of like rebranded with that new focus late last year. And so I think this is the first game that I've played that had that, and it's almost like a Marvel movie, how it like comes in and it's like, ooh, look at all these fun games PlayStation Studios have made, and I was like, ooh, this is fun and exciting. But so for those who don't know what Destruction AllStars is, it is basically a demolition derby game. It's this exposition, or not exposition. Yeah, I think so. I think that's the right word. Basically, like a showcase. So, like it's like a sport in this world. It's like an established sport, and you travel. There are like arenas in London, Barcelona, all these other places that you travel to and that you can play on in the game. But it is just exactly as it sounds. It is, you are racing around on these tracks, trying to destroy the other vehicles in as many fun and creative ways as you can do it. So it's very fun. It's very flashy. Like the graphics are outstanding. The quality of the crashes, there's a lot of debris and everything like that. The explosions are really fun. When you do have a really big wreck with another car, like it slows down does a slow-mo and everything.
That's a nice touch. Everybody loves really cool slow-mo. They do it in Tekken 7 sometimes. Like if you're about to get the killing blow, it slows down. It's just like, that's just the best. What a nice touch.
It makes it look so cool.
It makes it look so cool. It makes you feel like you really did something.
Oh, yeah. So in a demolition derby game like this, it's really fun whenever you do get a big slow-mo explosion. But the one thing that's really different about this game that I noticed immediately, and I was like, oh, that's really cool, is that you don't just pick your car and then, you have like a roster of cars. It's actually a roster of different drivers. And there's a set model, like 4 or 5 different models of cars that you can jump into in the actual arenas themselves. But so you're picking not the car, but the driver. And the driver has their own hero vehicle that you can eventually unlock during a match. But I think that's a fun, different way. And there are 16 different drivers.
So I had questions about this because I knew that was part of the concept. And I was like, interesting. So does the character affect their driving, like regardless of what type of car you choose?
No, it more does. The driver does really still only affect the car itself, because the car you have an ultimate move that you can charge up. And so over time that your hero vehicle is unique to your hero's car. So like, for example, I've been playing the most as Blue Fang, which is
I'm looking at the roster now and I had just circled to Blue Fang.
Blue Fang's cool. He's got a big like tiger mask with red eyes and stuff. It's cool.
This is the armor king of this game.
And so Blue Fang, his car is really cool because it has like 4 saw blades on the front. And when you activate the special, normally if you're not having the special ability, you're just driving around in this bigger vehicle. But then when you activate the special, the blades spin and just automatically wrecks anything it touches. But it's a very short time frame, like maybe 5-6 seconds that you actually get the blade spinning. But when I was playing, I got a couple times where I was able to hit 3 or 4 cars like in a row in the same use of the blades, and it's so cool because it kind of like slows them down and like grinds them under it, like you see those trash compactor videos and stuff of like on the like oddly satisfying subreddits and stuff like that of stuff being crushed. That's kind of how it looks like a little bit when they hit the saw blades and just get obliterated. And it's so cool. Even too when you get to do it to another hero vehicle and you're just like, ooh, because even if it's a hero vehicle, it gets hit in those saw blades, it's automatically wrecked. So it doesn't necessarily affect the stats and like the handling of the car. It's more like just like what that final hero vehicle is going to be. But of the vehicles that you can pick up on the actual arena themselves, those do vary in make and model. Like there's one that looks like a little Fiat, one that looks like a typical sports car, one that's bigger like an SUV. And obviously like the SUV is slower. The sports car one handles really well. The Fiat looking one is really fast.
Yeah. Is the SUV as big and as slow though as the Suburban? Because if it's
No,
not
it's not
suburban
that
level,
quite.
then
It's not
really
quite
an
that
SUV.
that slow as a suburban, but no. So that is where the variety comes from. But what's cool is that like these cars are very much meant to be like you're not supposed to stay in one vehicle and hope you stay in that same vehicle the whole time. You're supposed to be switching vehicles all willy-nilly whenever it best suits you, because that is the one thing about this that was really cool. Tying it back to the roster is that you actually play outside of the cars as well. You're not just tied to being in the driver's seat. In the example of your car, your hero vehicle has to charge up before you can unlock it. But your driver also has a breaker, is what it's called, which is like their special, where they have enhanced performance outside of the vehicle. Like they can double jump, they can run faster, they can dodge quicker, and different stuff like that. And so when you're out of the car, though, you can run around the map and pick up these shards, which are just little crystals. And what those do is they will increase the rate at which you'll gain your hero vehicle. So it is kind of a cool little thing of like playing smart and being in the cars, because that's how you rack up the points, is obviously by doing damage in the cars. But if you really want to focus on getting your hero vehicle, because you know you're like either A, really good in it, or B, it gives you a really good advantage, then you want to jump out of your car and run up and be picking up these shards, because they're all up on like these walls and everything that are suspended above the actual floor of the arena. So you're doing like some wall running, some parkour kind of stuff.
Some hardcore,
some little light hardcore parkour, you know, and just to be able to get all these shards. So it's really fun that like, but also you have to be careful. Obviously, if you're running around on the ground, it's easy to get hit by other cars, and if you do, that's pretty much an immediate KO, which kind of takes you out of the action for a few more seconds as you respawn into the game, which lowers obviously the amount of time you can be making points. Because that's kind of the thing that I had to learn is it's like you can't just get in the car and drive around and like try to stay away from the action. You really have to be like in the action to be able to build up the points, because it obviously rates you and gives you more points based on how hard and how much damage you are causing. If you barely tap them, you're going to get like 1 point. If you get like a big hard hit, you're going to get like 5-6 points.
This was another thing that I had a question about, was how do you win? So my thinking was that this was going to be kind of like Twisted Metal, where it's just like, and I actually don't remember if this is how Twisted Metal worked, because it's a game I played in my childhood. But I always kind of thought that it would be like a survival game, like be the last one standing. Is that even an option? Like, is that a mode?
Yes. That is a mode. Yeah. Okay. So speaking of the modes, we'll just go ahead and talk about that. There are 4 different modes that you can have, that you can choose to play. Mayhem, which is just free for all, which is just you're everybody against everybody. So it's 16 against, it's 16 people all duking it out on a race.
And that one, it's a race.
Or, I mean, sorry, in the arena.
Oh, okay. So it's a race to get the most points then.
Exactly. So you're trying to get the big wrecks, get as hard hit wrecks as you can, get into your hero vehicle as often as you can, so you can really use their abilities to help get your points. So that's kind of what Mayhem is. And I haven't won it yet. I got second once, and I felt really good, but I haven't got first yet. Most of the time, I'll be honest, I'm like 8th or 9th. But still, out of 16, I'm like, that's not terrible. I have got 12th, though.
It's better than we do in Crash Team Racing.
Right?
We're garbage in that game.
I know it. It's not great at that one at all. Carnado is a team-based round, which is actually really fun. You drive around, and as you crash into other vehicles on the opposing team, you generate gears. And once you have collected as many gears as you feel like you can safely hold, I think you can hold maybe 15 or more total, you drive into this massive tornado in the middle of the arena that destroys your vehicle, but deposits all the gears that you've collected. So it forces you to get a new vehicle and go back out too. So it's all about, like, if you're on the lowest end of life on this car, do you go turn it in even though you maybe only have 2 gears, or do you risk it all and try to get a few more before your vehicle crashes? Because if it crashes, then you don't get to go bank those gears, and you have to start piling them back up again. Then there's Gridfall, which is the last man standing version. Oh, okay. It's free for all. You have you have limited lives, limited number of KOs. So I think you can earn more KOs, more chances as you go through, but I think you only get 2. I think you can only be knocked out twice. And in this one too, the floor of the arena will slowly start to fall away, making the area smaller and smaller and smaller that you have to play in. So that's pretty cool. And then Stockpile is another team-based one where you pick up and deposit gears again, but this time the wrinkle is you have to do it on foot. You have to get out. You have to like wreck, jump out of your car, pick up gears, jump back in your car, and then go to these three different banks that are on your arena floor that you can deposit the gears into.
Fascinating.
So it's pretty fun to play in. I think still Carnado and Mayhem I think are my favorites so far.
See,
I need to play a little bit more of Gridfall and Stockpile.
Gridfall sounds like the one that I would probably be the most inclined to play, just because I like having a finite end. Like, yeah. I enjoy, like, if I'm going to die, just kill me.
Well, they are all timed rounds, so there is still a finite amount of time on all of them. Yeah. It's just, although except maybe not, maybe there is still a Gridfall one, and then at some point there is a time limit on Gridfall, and it's just determined on whoever has the most amount of points by the end of time, not necessarily the last person standing.
What's the typical timer? Like in Mayhem, for example, what's the time limit?
I think it's like 5 minutes, maybe.
Oh, okay.
35 minutes. It's not bad.
Pretty reasonable.
Yeah, they're not super long matches at all. So you do all this. Let me think. What else? Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about the mechanics then of how it goes. It's very much standard stuff. Like R2 is your accelerator, L2 is your brake, hold it down to reverse. The big thing that's different though, and that I'm taking the most time to kind of react to, is that the right stick when you're in the car does not control your camera. What it does is if you flick the right stick forward to get like a speed boost to go forward, or you can flick it to the left and right to like do a boost to the side, to the left or right side. Obviously, if you boost and you hit a car or something like that, makes for a bigger wreck. So, learning how to time those correctly is very difficult. But man alive, have I activated those abilities, meaning trying to turn my camera. So that's been a little bit difficult to like.
Is it just an auto camera?
Yeah, it's an auto camera.
Oh, that's the worst.
But the arena is really big, and it's not like big tight spaces, so it's not really inhibiting me really at all. I'm just used to being able to change my camera view.
100% of gamers are used to being able to change the camera, except in Resident Evil. That's the only acceptable other option. I don't know how I would feel about that. I bet that is a tough adjustment.
It's a tough adjustment, especially when you're not in your car and you're running around the arena on foot. You do use the right stick to change your camera. It is a little bit of a mind jump where you're just like, wait, what? Oh yeah, I can't use it now. Okay, I can use it now. What? So that part gets a little hard to figure out at times.
I can imagine. Before I forget, I had another question. So about the modes, is there a versus mode? Like, can you play this game with a friend, couch co-op?
I know there is arcade mode, and I know there are challenge modes, which I haven't done. The arcade mode just seems to be like basically you can like AI practice against these things. I actually don't know if there's a way to do like couch co-op.
Sam had played it together co-op.
We haven't yet. I don't know if this would be necessarily one that she would be as
really into, there's no talking. It's all destruction.
That's true. It is all destruction. I should say I need to look and see if there is actually. I don't know. That's a very good question. But let's see. What was I doing? You can also, when you're out of your vehicle, you can get points by dodging. Like you'll get like a little exclamation point above your character's head if a car's like coming at you, and you can hit zero circle button, and you'll dive out of the way. And that will, if you can time it just right, you'll get like a skilled dodge bonus and everything that'll go towards your score. The one thing though that is really fun and super fun, and when you get to pull it off well, you feel so badass, and it's that you can eject from your vehicle at any time by pressing X. And so you'll be driving, your car's really damaged, somebody's coming at you hoping to get that sweet KO and get the extra points bump for that, but right as they're about to hit you, you hit X, you jump out of your car, and then if you can time it right, above you could be a platform where a new car is waiting for a driver to jump into, so you can jump it just right, and if you get enough air and the right timing, you can then just land and immediately jump inside a brand new car and take off. So it's really cool when you can pull that off. But then if you are, say, running around, no new cars are to be seen or close by, you can try to jump on top of and take over another player's car, which is kind of fun because it initiates a versus QuickTime event, basically, where you, as the person trying to take over the car, have to hit like square and zero. Why do I keep wanting to call it zero?
I don't
Square
know.
and circle.
What's
What
wrong
is going
with
on
you?
in my brain?
No controller includes zero.
I don't know what's going on with me.
Heavens.
But if square and circle, you just alternate between those two, trying to fill up your meter before your opponent can fill their meter. They're filling their meter by wiggling the left stick left and right as fast as they can. But they both happen in tandem, so whoever fills their bar first wins the takeover event. And so
Gotcha.
if you're the driver of the car, you just shake them off, they fall off, you get some points for shaking them off. But if you get if you do a takeover, then you can then choose to take over the car and jump into the driver's seat and pull the other driver out, or you can do like a wreck over, and it just like makes the car explode and blow up, and you get some good points for that. So there's a lot of like stuff happening. It's very frantic. There's a lot of action going on constantly. Of course, you're obviously trying to dodge people, but then get those sweet hits all the time. So it's just got a lot of stuff happening in it, but it's pretty exciting and pretty fun.
You know what this actually kind of reminds me of, particularly with the ability to abandon ship and go get a new vehicle at any time. It sounds a lot like Kirby Air Ride.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna lie. It sounds like yeah, that's Kirby Air Ride. Because even in Kirby Air Ride, you had to go around the map and like get power-ups and stuff, because they would affect stuff that happened after you were out of like city trial mode. I don't remember what it was called. The point is, I'm thinking like Kirby Air Ride. So it actually sounds kind of fun now, because I'm like, man, I love Kirby Air Ride. I might actually give this a try someday.
It is. Well, you should go download it on your PS4. You should go redeem it, so that way when you get that PS5. Yeah. Let's see. What else did I have here? It also does have some, like, you level up, you gain experience points, and you level up. There are challenges that you can complete. I'm imagining they don't really seem to do anything at this point, rather than just like leveling you up. It may unlock some cosmetic items and stuff like that, but I'm imagining though that this is kind of like the precursor, that they're gonna put in some kind of like season battle pass thing to like give you new skins, new colors, new what have yous for the emotes and whatnot for your characters. But that at the moment just kind of seems like it's just there. It's just like it is just kind of a gamification thing of like, oh, I leveled up, get that boost of like seeing your numbers and scores. You do get like ranked on how much mayhem and carnage you create, which are obviously tied towards like trophies and different stuff like that. So there is a little bit of that. Things that I don't like of it, which granted are not very many things. I already said the big one really was it's really weird to not use right stick as camera, and that it interchanges using it as camera and not. It's kind of a weird design choice.
I feel like that's the worst thing you've told me so far. Like everything else, I've been like, okay, I'll play with this, but not being able to control the camera equally, like for both modes, that sounds like it would be really tough to get.
It's a little hard to wrap around. The customization, like I said, is pretty much all microtransactions. Like there is currency you can either buy using real money. You can also earn over time by completing matches. You can earn currency along with XP and stuff like that. But I also don't really have a huge desire to spend any of the money, because it is very much to spend this and do this, because really it's not like you get new skins for the characters. You just get new recolors, new paint jobs, basically. So it doesn't change. Like, say, for example, and this is what I'm wondering if this will come up later in more updates, either through like a season battle pass style thing or whatever, if they'll introduce new looks for the characters. But like, say for Apex Legends, like they have basic recolors where it's like the same overall design of the hero outfit, and then it'll just have like a new pattern, new what have you. But then they do release ones that drastically alter the look of the character. None of those things do that yet for these customization options. So, and you can't like choose, I want a different jacket, or I want a different, I want a different color on only my jacket, and I want to combine it with these pants. It's like, it literally is just like a blanket car and driver paint color change, and they match each other. So it's not very deep customization. There are a bunch of emotes, but I never use emotes really at all in any game. And so I don't necessarily want to feel like spending my hard-earned in-game cash there. And then there's like different banners and badges and stuff like that for your character. But again, those aren't like huge draws customization wise. So I'm kind of like, okay, that part of it feels a little lacking to me.
Now, while we're on the subject, just real quick, like I said, I've been looking at this character roster. Really good character design.
Right, they are. They're very fun.
All of these characters. Just looking at them, I can immediately tell that the first character I would probably pick is Hana, because she looks like one of the more mature women. So it's like, yeah, she's not quite on a level of being old lady, but yeah, she's up there. So Hana and Muna, both of them look like the types of characters that I would be like, oh, I gotta go with that character.
What's the one character? Her name is like not Rat.
Oh, Ratu. Yeah,
Ratu,
she's got
Ratu.
like this teal blue hair and like an orange suit. Her color scheme,
but like
is
her headset, her like helmet, the thing that she's wearing looks like big rat ears and stuff like that. I played as her a couple rounds. She was really cool.
She's an Indonesian martial arts and dance expert. Which hell yeah, that sounds awesome.
Then there's one. Like I said, I played as Fuego too, and he's just like looks like his character costume looks like he's like a bull, and his car catches on fire and sets stuff on fire when you use his ultimate ability. It's a lot of fun playing with all these different characters. The one thing I will say, this was a knock when I started, but it's actually already been fixed in an update within a week of the game coming out, is that when I first started playing and you would jump into a match, you automatically joined the gamer chat.
I heard about this. I heard that out because it was so toxic.
Well, it's just like, I think a lot of people still aren't used to the fact that the PS5's microphone is built in and also just on by default.
I think that's bad.
That's a bad plan. I did change it.
Weird and creepy.
Yeah, I changed mine to where it's by default is muted when I start playing it, because it even like would capture your microphone during gameplay captures. Like if you went back and like, oh, I did something really cool, I want to save that clip, you can turn it off again in a setting, but by default it again starts where you hear your microphone.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah. So I definitely was like, the first game started up and it's not like coming out of your TV, it's coming out of the speaker on the DualSense, so it's hard to understand anyway. The only time I've used the DualSense microphone feature and liked it is when I play with my buddy Michael and we play FIFA. Neither of us have, like it's just easy. We're chilling, we're sitting there, and we're just like talking to each other over our microphones on our controllers. It's fine. It's fun. And it's kind of like easy that it's just right there. I don't have to go plug in a new headset or anything else like that. I can just do it. But being automatically joined into and being forced to listen to all the madness that was going on in a 16-player lobby whose everybody's mic is just automatically on, it's a little chaotic. And to close it out, there's not a setting in the game to mute the voice chat. You have to hit the home button on the PlayStation and then go to a setting and then choose it's like 3 button clicks to mute it. And you had to do it every match.
Oh no.
Yeah. Because it was like it would open up a new channel or a new chat every time you would start a match.
Oh my god. Okay, this is neither here nor there, but this came up in Bro Mogan's stream last night. He was just streaming some Resident Evil for fun. We were talking about, pros and cons of the PS5. And his main knock against it, and I agree with this, is that the PlayStation 5's UI is not an improvement.
It's not as smooth, I will say.
In the interest of looking sleek, it has done away with common sense utility, and it has made everything much harder. Like, it shouldn't take 3 clicks to get to that setting to be able to turn something off, especially if that's an in-game feature. That's stupid. So anyways, tiny little rant there.
Well, no, I agree with you. Like, I will say that my biggest UI frustration I have with the PlayStation 5 is that you can't hold down the home button to turn up to automatically select the power settings, like to turn it off or put it to sleep. You have to you have to just like hit the button once so the little menu bar at the bottom pops up, then you scroll over to the power. Again, it's like 2-3 button selection thing.
Made it worse. Worse.
I will agree. Some of the changes that they made to the PS5, I'm like, nah, that should have stayed the same way as the PS4.
I really need some hackers, like some modders and some hackers, to figure out how to just transplant the PS4's UI onto the PS5.
I'm sure
that'd be super.
That would be cool. And I'm sure at some point, because I know they did this with the PS4 too. After it had been out for a while, they did release some software updates that fixed those things and made some things better. Like, remember when the PS4 first came out, you couldn't make folders, but then you could.
I've never once in my life made a folder.
Oh, I loved using the folders.
That has never happened to me before. I didn't know that was a feature at all, so that didn't affect me.
But yeah, so that was a pretty rough for the first couple days I was playing, and then I was playing yesterday for a little bit, and I started the game up, and a match started, and I was like, oh, I don't hear the chat.
So quiet.
It's so quiet.
So quiet in here. The fact
so I can't count it as a knock anymore. But man, if they had kept that as in there, that would have been a huge knock against this game.
The fact that they even thought it was a good idea in the first place is honestly staggering.
Yeah.
Do they not know how online gaming is?
Right?
Have they never played an online game?
Right?
Do they not know what kind of people are out there? It's like it's even just weird from like, not necessarily a safety standpoint, but like a privacy standpoint, because so many children play games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a bad idea to automatically have a 10-year-old and a 45-year-old in the same lobby together by default.
Yeah.
That's just bad planning. That decision is
it's not
genuinely baffling.
Yeah, it was not a good choice. So hopefully that gets fixed in later PS5 updates for sure. But so kind of just like as an overall wrap of this, while it is super fun annihilating your opponents and causing big wrecks, I see this more as a game that I'll jump into periodically rather than committing serious time. But I will say I have a lot of fun while playing. It's just especially because there aren't at this moment huge long-term things to keep me in. It's not like I have to unlock people on the roster. They're all available at the beginning. So there's not even that like incentive to play to be like, ooh, I really want to get this guy. So it definitely seems like something I'm just gonna like jump into here and there, be like on my lunch break, like, yeah, I'll play a few rounds of AllStars, just cause a few wrecks and stuff like that. But while there is a level progression and microtransactions, they seem fairly base level and don't offer much of a goal to shoot for, since most of the driver car cosmetics are just repaints. That said, though, the action, sporting event presentation, and diverse roster create an exciting entry into the vehicular combat genre.
Indeed.
So, but then like kind of like the spectacle that I've alluded to before, the rounds start with all of the drivers outside of their cars. They're up on this big platform, and as it's doing like the countdown, they're all dancing, like doing this like intro moves and everything, trying to appeal to the crowd. And then you just all take off at once, jump off this platform, and like race to see who can get into their cars first. So there's a lot of like chances for like takeovers right at the very beginning, trying to figure out who's going to go for which cars, different stuff like that. So it's from the get-go always has a lot of high energy, and it keeps up that energy throughout the entire matches. I have not been bored playing, but I just definitely see it as a thing where it's like, I'm going to play this every once in a while when I just have the need to cause some mayhem, not one that I think I'm going to pick up and be playing religiously every day.
Yeah, I think
but still a fun time.
That's kind of what I've generally seen in reviews that I've read, because I might download it for my PS4 and eventually play it for the PS5, but this doesn't necessarily sound like the kind of game that I would be super drawn to, because basically it's no Kirby Air Ride. That's going to be my new campaign. It's no Kirby Air Ride. But one of the biggest criticisms that I found was people basically saying you do eventually get kind of bored of it if you play it enough. Like if you're really playing, the gameplay can get a little repetitive. So I feel like this is the kind of game, though, that they're probably going to add more stuff in.
I would think so.
They're probably going to keep adding new modes, new challenges or something, kind of like how Fortnite did. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's something we see come down the line later on.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all either. It definitely would be a fun one for us to like do as like one of our team chat plays or something like that, where we can, especially if it does have co-op and stuff like that, and for like couch co-op or whatever like that would be really fun to do. But yeah, I still think Destruction AllStars, it's really fun. It's different than a lot of stuff that I've played lately. Like I can't even tell you the last time I played a vehicular combat game like this. So it's been a lot. So it's a lot of fun jumping back into a game like that. So if you have played Destruction AllStars and have thoughts on this game as well, we'd love to hear them. So, send us an email at teamchatpodcast@gmail.com. Jump on our Discord, talk about it with us there, or, comment below on the YouTube podcast, wherever you're listening, and enjoy the show. But that pretty much wrapped up my review. So, Mogan, if you had any other thoughts on it or anything like that, I guess we can pretty much wrap up this episode as well. So, until next time, everybody, I am one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined across the power of the internet by my host, Rachel Mogan.
But adios. Adios.
Oh, man. We will see you all next time for another great episode of gaming content here on Teen Chat Podcast. We'll see you next week.